The Seahawks mock game is over, and it was a spirited game. It was fast-paced. It was controlled. But you know what? It was a first step that was needed for the Seahawks, for the new players. According to Pete Carroll, this is part of the plan for them to see what it's like to, to dress here and to come out of the tunnel. It's a dress rehearsal, and Pete said it's an important step for progression of the rookies and the first-year players. And before we get to the video, the breaking news today was that Eskridge is suspended for 6 games for violating the NFL player personnel conduct policy. So he's out for the first 6 games. He can practice with the team for a while, and then but he can't participate in the game. So without further ado, let's go to the video and
tried to own the opportunity to be in the stadium, get prepared for a game and all that kind of stuff. And so our guys used their imagination quite well to get that done. So we gained something tonight. It was really good. We also saw that we were sloppy penalties. That kind of got in the way of a smooth night. But we saw a ton of stuff. We evened out the place pretty good for the 1s, 2s, and 3s. See if anybody got slighted. But for the most part, everybody participated, got a shot, and saw some pretty good pressure from the defense, and really some pretty good run play too. I thought for the most part, particularly for the first group. So Geno was in control. I thought it was great. We got the situation for Drew to have the 2-minute shot at the end of the game. That worked out beautifully, and he was able to take them down to win the game and got a touchdown. So it was nice to see that. So good night. A couple guys got banged up. We'll see what happens to Kenny. Sprained his knee somewhat, and Whitaker hurt his knee also. So we'll see how those guys come out of the test and all the stuff we check them out on tomorrow. His issue has been dealt with by the league. We can't talk about it, the issue at all. He's had a very good camp for us. He's been working really hard. He's been really determined. You could see him tonight. I'm sure you could all tell. He's explosive and makes plays as far as the football's concerned, but he's going to miss the time, and so we'll just have to help him deal with all that we can, and keep him part of the program when we can, and we'll see him after he leaves. We'll see him when he gets back a chance. You ask him about what he sees now and what he knows now about playing the game compared to where he was a year ago at this time. It's just so different. And he's putting together some really good stuff in terms of his pass rush. He's getting a game of his own, his style and the things that he's working on. He's a good run defender. He's really tough and runs really well. So he's doing everything well right now. And it's just like I was hoping, I might have mentioned to you guys a couple times that that we have a chance for a number of our players that played last year in the first year to really grow this time around, and as they come back as sophomores, and it's going to help us think of the tackles and Kenny and all the guys that helped us last year. Just seeing the game much differently, that can be a big boost for us. And he's been very competitive throughout camp, and he had a big day today. I think he had the game winner as we looked at, right? At the end, had a couple third down wins and did a nice job.
In front of our fans, in front of in Lumen, just kind of get the feel of what the games are going to be like. Real good for the rookies to get out there for the first time on the turf and kind of see what it's going to be like, for their first game. So these games are going to come up fast, and it was great to have a good mock game today. And I think everyone did a pretty good job.
Geno, to have the stretch where you hit DK and Jackson back to back there and to lead that drive, how good did it feel to have the offense kind of click as quick as it did tonight? Yeah,
that's that's going to be important for us. I was very happy about that, and those are two guys that we're going to need to make big plays. And so we talk about starting the games fast, and we talk about scoring points. And so you always want to strike first. You always want to give your defense a lead, and I think that's where we have to continue to improve. Really want to strike early, score points, and get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. A lot of great memories, and I look to try and continue those. But I'm very grateful for the fans. When I was on other teams, I would always look at the stadium and watch games here and just see how crazy they were, and they were trying to break the sound barrier sometimes, and it was just one of those things where it's just great to be a part of it, because I had seen it from afar, and to be a part of it now and to have them embrace me is just awesome.
Honestly, for me, the biggest thing I've noticed myself is that the game slowed down for me. I've been spending a lot of off season watching film, watching ball, knowing situations, knowing what's going on in the game, so that I just slowed the game down for myself. I felt like that was the biggest thing for me last year, is that I was playing a little frantic, and now I'm starting to get the comfortability and understanding what I got to do out there, and be comfortable in my own skin.
Does that help you more in?
It makes the world a lot easier in those situations, especially in the run, knowing what to expect and what situations you're going to get in the run, and especially in the pass, knowing what type of protections you're going to see, knowing what to expect from the offense. So it definitely makes my job a lot easier, and it makes me, makes the game a lot slower for me. This season, it's definitely towards the end of the year, I started getting more comfortable. LA, getting towards in the playoffs, those type of games, started getting a little easier. But especially after those two, going back, reflecting on those, seeing what I did in last season and knowing where I needed to improve my game, and then, focusing on that in the offseason.
How tricky is it trying to get a strip sack when the quarterback's in red?
That was an accident. I would just say that was not meant. That was not planned. I did not try to do that.
Are you done?
All right, so there you saw it. Again, the B-roll was just more in terms of the players' practice, what they did during warm-ups. You heard from Pete Carroll, you heard from Boye Mafe, and obviously Geno Smith. And everybody is on pace. The only bad note today is Whitaker, and also Kenny McIntosh suffered a knee thing. Pete said, hey, it's not major. He won't be out for long. Both of those they'll get tests tomorrow. The Seahawks are off. So that's really kind of the only sad news that's there, or the ominous news. So, all right, in terms of what I saw, some notes we talked here. Boye Mafe, who you heard from, and Draymond Jones were the stars. They lived in the backfield, and Pete talked about that. Hey, we got pushed in the front line, and it was something, again, the Seahawks are looking for, right? You got to stop the run. So they're on target, those two. Devin Witherspoon had a pass deflection, and he played really well. It showed, when he played with the ones. And so let me go to what we saw, because the format was the number one offense against the number two defense, and obviously the number one defense against the number two offense. So who lined up for the number one offense? Jackson Smith-Njigba, Kay Johnson, Charles Cross, Phil Haynes. Evan Brown was your center, but you knew that because Pete Carroll said, hey, Evan Brown will start today. And filling, the rest of the lineup, Damian Lewis, Abraham Lucas, DJ Dallas, Geno Smith, and Will Dissly. So really no big surprises. If you're saying, where's Tyler Lockett? Pete said, he felt a little something, but they gave him the day off and he's fine. So, there's nothing to worry there. And I would say, what else we got? Smith-Njigba was back fielding punts. So I think he's going to be a punt returner. And we'll see again. I said they're off tomorrow. We'll see the next couple of days again if he continues in punt formation. And what else we got for you? Yep. And then in terms of the defense, it's Devin Witherspoon, Michael Jackson, Quandre Diggs, Uchenna Nwasu, Bobby Wagner, Julian Love, Devin Bush, Trey Brown, Draymond Jones, Kobe Bryant, and Jaron Reed kind of round up your 11. Now, they flipped back and forth a little bit, but that was those were the starters, for the scrimmage. So there you have it.